What it do? What it be? What up, baby? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, the NetworkBruh, in the building. Back with another live lab. Yes, I got Google in front of y'all because I was looking up some information. Today we're going to work with OSPF Authentication in light of Professor Black Ops' STIGs yesterday. Y'all know what STIGs are, right? Security Technical Implementation Guides. Basically kind of like some compliance that some federal agencies and the Department of Defense and a whole bunch of companies need to follow, right? Kind of like hospitals need to follow HIPAA laws, right? Those agencies need to follow STIGs, right? They go with STIGs on their network. So OSPF authentication is one of those kind of like rules that they need to follow. And things that they have to have on their network. So we are going to be using, let me go ahead and I'm going to relaunch this. Let me relaunch this real quick. So I was looking at, this is, we're going to be doing OSPF authentication again. Let me pull this up real quick. We got S Move in the building. Ain't seen you in a minute. He said, I'm here, bro. On occasion, wife and kids making some summer plans. Mess with my studies. Man said, summer, man, we wrapping up our summer over here, man. My daughter just started school this week, but they can't jam me up for long. There's always a way. That's right, man. There's always a way, man. When there is a will, there is a way. You know, you gotta have work-life balance and stuff, right? Anywho, we also got Foster in the building. Is that Diane Foster? I don't know. You changed your hash, your username there, unless that's somebody else. That's another Foster. I guess we have a couple Fosters in the building there. But anyways, gonna be using Boson NetSim today. We're gonna do OSPF authentication. Hopefully, if you guys don't have it, then I guess you can just follow along with the stream here. Once I get to 5,000 subscribers, I'll be gifting away a copy of this application so y'all can do it along with me and stuff like that, right? I know I've been saying that for the longest, but get some people to subscribe to my channel and maybe I'll get a shit away, right? But you know, the good folks at Boson, they gave me a promotional copy to kind of demonstrate on my channel to let people know how this is the shit, man. They gave me their full suite of applications too, man. The Boson NetSim. They also gave me a copy of the exam simulator software. I haven't tried it yet. I have not tried it yet. I just like the network simulator because I just like configuring things, and that's just fun to me and trying to figure things out, and I just want to be able to learn all of this stuff. So, who else? He said, "Yep, had to shorten my government handle." Oh, it's all good. It's all good, Foster. Diane Foster. I don't think we're gonna do a Kahoot quiz today. I wanted to do one, but I did not really have the time and stuff, so we might not do a quiz today. I had the book and stuff, and I was getting ready to start one up, but then I took a nap, and then I did some stuff for my mom. That's my alarm right there. Like, hey, you got a stream today. Dismiss. So we're going to give it a couple minutes for some people to tune in. In the meantime, let's see what we got on the current events and stuff. Let's see here. Where we at? We got in the IT news today. Man, I swear, man. Y'all, we really got to get into security, man. We really have to get into security. Look at us, man. That's crazy. Please, slide to the home. Which one I want to get y'all, man? This is crazy, man. Hackers siphon. I might as well, man. Hackers siphon 600 million in digital tokens. Crypto network says Poly network breach would be among biggest heists to target cryptocurrency industry. This is why I'm afraid of buying just crypto. I'll buy and trade shares of it, man. But to have a whole damn all my money in digital currency, man, you know, I'd rather stick money under my mattress than do that, man. A decentralized financial network has claimed hackers absconded with about $600 million worth of cryptocurrencies in one of the largest heists to target the growing digital asset industry. Poly Network, which links some of the world's most widely used digital ledgers, said on Tuesday that attackers had exploited a vulnerability See, this is why we need to get into security, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, we need to get into security. Not necessarily cybersecurity, but at least, you know, you know, just get into the defense of things like this, man. Exploited a vulnerability in its system. How many times did I read you guys like news articles like this? And it's always because of vulnerabilities that are, you know, that are just being targeted, man, or exploited in its system and taken thousands of crypto tokens. The attack would be one of the largest to date on a crypto venture, on a par with breaches of exchanges CoinCheck and Mt. Gox. The alleged hack was a blow to supporters of decentralized finance, or DeFi, which has, I didn't know that's what they call it, which has been one of the fastest expanding areas of the booming cryptocurrency market. It also highlighted the lack of consumer and investor protections in a market with only light oversight from financial regulators. Poly Network has developed a computer protocol, or set of rules, that allow, we're familiar with protocols, aren't we? In fact, we're working with a protocol today, OSPF, right? And we're working with what? Authentication. That allows users to transfer tokens tied to one blockchain to a different network. Many of the world's most widely used blockchains, such as Binance Chain and Ethereum, have developed independently, and their coins offered as an incentive to users run on separate technologies. That means investors cannot easily move their tokens to a different blockchain to trade them or use them as collateral for another investment. Man, this just like, man, we have to get into security. At least I do. I've been eyeing that for a while. I've been growing interest in security. It's just, y'all know me. I'm passionate about route switch, and that's just the core of it. Anyway, we got to know how the shit work before we try to secure it, right? So, and that's what we work with today. Authentication. So shout out to Professor Black Ops for giving us the sticks of the day yesterday. Networks have to use OSPF authentication within their, within their route switch environment. So, we got Morningstar in the building. What's up, bruh? How you doing, Morningstar? Foster said, Accenture ransomware. Yikes. Yeah, tell me about it, man. Ransomware, these vulnerabilities. Yesterday I read an article on this channel about vulnerabilities in the Cisco VPN routers. They didn't do a recall or nothing like that, but they just, released news about it. And Juniper, they had some home, I think they had some not enterprise routers, but like some routers made for home and small offices. And they released news that there was a vulnerability in it. And then 2 days later, some hackers exploited the vulnerability, man. They're like, oh, thanks, Juniper. Now we know to exploit these routers from that people got at home. Oh, Jesus. Anyway. Let's move on with the show, man. OSPF authentication. Our objective is to understand the OSPF authentication process and configure the routers in a simulated network to require OSPF authentication before the advertised routes to or accept routing table updates from the OSPF neighbors. This lab covers basic authentication as well as OSPF encrypted authentication. So we're going to be working with authentication here. We know what OSPF is, right? OSPF is the open shortest path first, is a routing protocol or set of rules, like the article said, that is used to have routers share routes with each other, right? Well, what if we have some fraudulent routes that are being sent to us from a router that somehow became a neighbor to us? Well, this is why we want to set up authentication on our routers. In order for us to become an OSPF neighbor, you need to have, well, if we have set up authentication, you need to have this OSPF authentication key or password. And then we become neighbors. And then we'll share routes with you or, take routes from you or vice versa, right? This simulated network for this lab consists of 5 routers, which is right here: Orlando, Daytona, Tampa, and Miami. And then we also got Key West over here. So, I guess y'all can't see me, can y'all? Why y'all say nothing, man? I was trying to show my ugly face here, right? Each router also has a LAN connected to its fast Ethernet. So, for example, we got Tampa right here. This will be simulating the local area network for Tampa. There's Orlando, where I'm at. This will be simulating the local area network, and so on and so forth with these guys, right? Basically, they just want to set up authentication, specifically around this area right here. So don't worry about the rest of this. We just need to focus on authentication in this area between Key West and Miami. But they're going to have us kind of send a ping across just to show that the routes work and stuff like that. This is the topology. If y'all want to see that, it's the same thing as this right here. Except this just the IP addressing and stuff. We got some basic terminology right here. Commands, rather. So there's 2 ways we can do authentication, right? And I think we've done this a couple streams back. You can do clear text authentication, where you put the password. But if somebody has access to our to our running configuration, or if they're running some sort of protocol analyzer like Wireshark or something like that, they can see the password, the authentication key that we set up for OSPF. But if we do encryption, which would be MD5, authentication rather, we can use MD5 authentication to kind of encrypt the password so that way they can't see it and stuff like that. We got some basic IP addressing here. IP addresses for the hosts. I think there's only 5 tasks for this. The first one is just verification. Verification that ping work. The 5th one is also verification that the pings work. So they just want to verify writing. On Key West, examine the routing table. So let's go to Key West right here. Bloop. I ain't asked y'all. Y'all ready to go? I don't know if anybody here. The password is Cisco, by the way. So much for security, right? Enable is also Cisco. CISEO. Right? That's what they said over here. All passwords have been set to Cisco. Examine the routing table. Compare the routes to the networks shown on the network topology diagram. So here's the topology diagram right here. I don't think we can zoom in. Oh yeah, I guess we can. We can zoom in. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. That's a little too small, but fuck it. Let's just run the show commands and look at this shit, man. Are routes to all networks present? So we're gonna go to Key West. Show IP route is what we use to look at the routing table, right? Close this guy. Close that guy. And then remember what we said at routing table, right? We have a legend at the top that tells us what each of the letters mean in the routing table, right? And then we don't have a default gateway set right there. So gateway of last resort is not set. And then we have our actual routing table right here. We have the ones that start with O is what? You guessed it, OSPF, right? So these are OSPF learned routes right here. The administrative distance, the metric, and what interface we learned it. What actually that's the actual local interface we learned it from. This I believe will be the next hop. Right? So to get to the 45.0 network, take the next hop of this to 45.253, which is 45.253 is who is that? Who that is? That's Miami. So to get to that network, you gotta go to Miami. It looked like that's gonna be the next hop for all of them anyway, right? Because Key West is here, so the next hop should be for everywhere. It should be right there, right? See, right? 253, right? So that's the next hop for all of them. Then we have some local, we have some connected routes right here, which is pretty much that cable right there. And then the locally locally configured interface, right? So FA01 is our interface, and that is the IP address for that network, for that IP address, for that interface right there, FA01. We can verify that with what show IP interface brief, show IP interface brief, and we can see that FA01 should theoretically be 45.242, right? And no, it's not. It's 254. So where is he at? That's the network. My bad. So this is connected. 45.254 is the local. That's the one that's configured. So this is the network. We're connected to that network, but this is the interface we have in that network, right? And there's the interface right there. Boom. Oops, my bad. Boom. FA01. So basic stuff right here, right? Basic stuff. Basic stuff. Verify connectivity from host E. Ping the following IP addresses. So we're gonna go from host E and then ping host A, B, C, and D. So from here to there, and then here to there, here to there, and here to there. I'm not gonna do all of them. I'm just gonna pick one and move on, right? So we're gonna have host A. We'll ping host A, which is 200.120.45.120, right? So we'll go to host E and ping that guy. Ping 200.120.45.120. And this is what I like about Boson NetSim. We don't have to set up the basic, like normally we have to set up the IP addressing and create routes. No, we want to do OSPF. So they're just having to verify connectivity, make sure the shit work, and move on with the show, which is OSPF Authentication. That's what I like about it. So we go to View, Labs, and then I know I sound like a commercial and promote the application, but that's what I agreed to do. We go to where they at right there? View, Windows, Labs. So if I want to learn about, let's say next week, we'll probably do multi-area authentication, multi-area OSPF, which is right over here. That's IPv3 though. multi-area OSPF. You can just load up that lab. We ain't got to worry about configuring IP addresses and host names and basic stuff. We just jump right into the technology we want to. So that's what I like about what I like about Boson and stuff. So we see that the ping worked, right? So we can move on with the show. From host B, ping Key West's FA00 interface. So what they want us to do here is, what is that at? They want us to have host from host B, which is right there. They want host B to ping Key West's FA00 interface. So from host B, they want us to ping FA00, which is right there, I believe. Should be the one that's facing the local area network. Let's see. Let's go to Key West and see what FA00 is. FA00 is that right there, 45.193. So that's the network that is, I believe, that right there, the outside network. Yeah, that was. So from host B, pinging that and not necessarily that, right? So we'll go to host B and ping that. So ping, right? See that he wanted me to ping 200, 120, 45, and 193, right? 200.120.45.193. Typically I stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And again, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away a copy of this application and stuff, right? So task 2, and we got the ping to come across, so we know it works, right? Understand authentication, OSPF authentication, what we came to do, right? So that way we don't get hit by ransomware or Accenture, like Diane Foster said over there. We're going to understand unauthenticated OSPF. So we kind of raw dogging it with the OSPF here. Full connectivity is established when you load this lab. Okay, great. OSPF is properly configured and the routes are being advertised between neighbors, which we saw, right? Briefly explain the requirements that will allow routers to using OSPF to exchange routing table updates, right? We said there's several parameters that got to match with OSPF, right? So let's concentrate on Miami and Key West, since we love down south, right? We'll go to Key West real quick. We'll do show IP OSPF neighbor. We see he got one neighbor, right? Key West is right here. He got one neighbor, which is Miami, right? He is Miami is the designated router for this, I guess, for that network right here. What else we got here? And we have the router ID for the neighboring router, which is Miami. That's Miami's router ID. We said that the parameters that need to match is that they need to be in the same subnet. They also need to have the same MTU settings. They need to have the same priority, I believe. No, I think does the priority need to be the same? I don't remember. I think the priority need to be the same. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see what happens. We should change it and find out. If we change the priority, will it tear down a relationship? Either way, the dead timers need to be the same. The hello timers need to be the same. We need the same stub area flags, I believe it is. What else am I missing here? They need to be in the same subnet. They need to have unique router IDs. So if Miami is 45.253, if that's his router ID, I can't have the same router ID. We need to have a unique router ID, or else we won't become neighbors. As a matter of fact, it'll tear down a relationship. It'll say duplicate router ID. You'll get an error. They'll pop up, right? What else? Lots of routes in this one. Yeah, there's about 8 OSPF routes. We see show IP route. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 OSPF routes. There goes 4 more. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have a couple connected routes. 2 connected and 2 local routes, right? What security risks related to OSPF exist when a network is configured in this manner? So, like I said, we need to match all of those parameters, right? But what if somebody just comes in and puts in, like, somehow gets on the network, launches GNS3 or some kind of application that allows them to launch a virtual router and become an OSPF neighbor with one of the routers on our network, right? And they matched all those parameters. Well, guess what? They can get on and then, share fictitious routes or get routes to our network and obtain access to, maybe some highly secure servers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's just so many ways that somebody can hack into our network if they can just become an OSPF neighbor. Well, if we could set up authentication, that kind of mitigates the problem, right? By doing that, right? So it says here, briefly explain how to explain. And that's how I did it, right? Implementing OSPF authentication might mitigate, there you go, might mitigate the security. They even use the same word I did. Might mitigate the security risk that you previously outlined. So that's what'll happen if we set up authentication. That's what we came to do, right? And that's a security risk that'll happen if we don't have authentication set up. So remember, we said we have to match all those parameters. And if we have authentication set up on our router, then the other router have to become a neighbor to us. They need to have the same authentication parameters matched with us, whether it's MD5 or clear text. But the password got to be the same, right? So we got a router here. We got a router here. I guess I didn't have my authentication. Now I'm using my hands and shit. If this router has authentication set up, then this router has to have authentication set up in order for them to become neighbors, right? So in this lab, you will begin by configuring authentication between Key West and Miami, which is what I was pointing at to right here, right? So don't get intimidated by all these routers and stuff. Just focus on these two guys right here, right? Which interfaces are connected to the connect Key West and Miami to the Key West Miami serials link. So they want to know between these two routers, what is the interface that connects to them between these two? So this little red line right here, they want us to know what is the interface that connects them to, right? So I'm on Key West. Let's see. We can run that same OSPF neighbor command, and we see right there, tells us right there, FA01. Is that the local interface or is that the neighbor's interface? I believe that is the neighbor's interface. Let's see. 45.253. Yeah, I believe that's the neighbor's interface, right? That's not where we are learning it from. Or is that the local interface? Does anybody know? Morningstar said hello and dead timers. Yep. The area got the match. I forgot about that, Pete. Yep, exactly. So pay attention. If I'm missing some stuff, there's a lot of smart people in that chat room. They'll let you guys know if I'm missing something. Or if I steer you wrong, somebody will point in the, hey, NetworkBruh is wrong about this. I just looked at the white paper. This is what it actually is, right? Because I don't know everything. And there's a lot of smart people in that chat room. So what else? We wanted to see what was the interface that connected it. So I think it's FA01. Another way to verify that is with what? Show IP OSPF interface. And we'll see that the interface that we have participating in OSPF on this router, we have 00. Who else? We have 01, which will probably be this guy right here. So we have that interface participating in OSPF and that interface participating in OSPF in Key West. But we want to know which one is connected to Miami, right? Let's see. Is most likely that right there, 254. The broadcast network. We could also just do a CDP neighbor. That's another thing too, right? Show CDP neighbor, and we'll see we have one neighbor, and it's Miami, right? So Key West, Miami is the neighboring router, and we see our local. That's what I like about this one, about show CDP neighbor. It tells you the local interface. So IP OSPF neighbor does not let me know whether that's local or a remote interface right there. FA01. But I believe that means that's the remote network. But either way, the local interface that connects to Miami is FA01. And then this is his other side. So that's FA01, and that's also most likely FA01 as well. Morningstar said it's the neighbor's interface. Thank you for that. Okay, so that's the neighbor's interface. Good to know. So this, when we do show IP OSPF neighbor, this guy right here, this is the neighbor's interface, not my interface. So good to know. Good to know. What we want to know here. So that was question number 1. Question 2 says, on Key West and Miami, enable OSPF authentication on the interfaces you previously identified. So they want us to set up OSPF authentication on that interface and that interface, right? So we're on Key West, and I think we did this a couple streams back. I forgot where or how we did it, but I remember we set up OSPF authentication. We did clear text and MD5, but I don't remember if we did it on GNS3 or even G. I can't remember. But in light of Professor Black Ops' Stigs of the day from yesterday, I said, let's do authentication again, but we're going to use Boson NetSim since we haven't done it yet. So we go to global config mode. We go to that interface in question, right? Interface FA0/1. And then to set up OSPF authentication, you just type in IP OSPF, and then we'll question mark for context-sensitive help, and we'll see we could do authentication to enable it, and then authentication key, which I believe is the clear text. So this enables authentication, but this does clear text, and then this right here does MD5, which basically lets you allow you to put the password in, but also encrypt it with using MD5 hashing, right? Forgot the difference between encryption and hashing. either way. So enable authentication. I think we got to do. They give us a key or anything like that? Nope, they didn't. Yes, they did. There they go, right there. So I said enable authentication. So we enable authentication with just this right there, IP, OSPF, and then authentication. Bloop. We do that. That should theoretically tear it down. But they said to do it on both Key West and Miami, right? So watch what happens when we just put it on Key West, just Key West. We didn't set it up on Miami yet. Well, let's go and let's see what else they said to do on the next step. On Key West and Miami, configure OSPF authentication key on each interface. Use the text string San Jose as the authentication key. So basically, we're setting up the password as the authentication key on both routers. So Key West, let's go to Miami real quick. And now, see, dead timer expired. So now he's no longer a neighbor, an OSPF neighbor with Key West. So we go back to Key West. Now he has the dead timer expired. We do a show IP OSPF. Let's do a show IP OSPF neighbor. OSPF neighbor. Jesus. Show IP OSPF neighbor. And we don't have any more neighbors, right? So let's go ahead and put in authentication on that side, Miami. Cisco, right? And it's enable and then Cisco. We said the interface was FA01, right? Let's verify that. Let's verify. Sound like my boss over here. OSPF. Let's do this. Show IP interface brief. It was 45.253, right? So yeah, FA01. So we go to global config mode, interface FA0/1. We say IP OSPF. My bad. IP OSPF. Authentication, that enables the authentication, but they also said to put in the text string San Jose. And how we do that, we just put in IP OSPF question mark, we'll see authentication key. So this enables authentication, and then this allows you to put the password in, right? So now we do authentication, but before I do that, I want to see, will it bring the relationship back up by just the authentication without the password? Let's see if that brings it back up. Let's see. So we should get a message and see if he becomes a neighbor again. I want to go back to Key West and see if he becomes a neighbor again. There it is. He became a neighbor without a key. See that? So now we put the key. That should tear it down again, I think. Right? Let's see. So IP OSPF authentication hyphen key, right? And then the key they said to use is what? They said San Jose, all lowercase, no space. San Jose. Will that tear down the relationship? We enabled authentication. And then we put in the key, San Jose. Will it tear down? That's what I'm curious to see. And that's what LiveLabs is all about. I really don't know. I really want to see, will it tear down the relationship? So we brought it back up by enabling authentication. But now we put a password on the Key West side. Will it tear down the relationship? So I want to see this first. Let's go to global config mode and put our finger on the trigger. IP or interface FA0/1. And it was IP OSPF. Authentication. There it goes. It tore down the relationship. See that? Dead timer expired. So now we put in the key on the Miami side, and that should bring it right back up, right? Bring that ass back. Authentication key, and then you said San Jose, lowercase, and then so dead timer expired. It should bring up that relationship back. Y'all have any questions? Pete said, why was OSPF active on the link to that host? OSPF is active. That's a good question, Pete. Why was it active on this host right here? He wants to know why OSPF is active right here if we don't have no routers here. Well, that's how we advertise the local area network to everybody else. That's a really good question, Pete. Morningstar said, there must be an OSPF network configured on the Key West router so that host E. Yes, exactly. So Morningstar answered your question. I like that, Morningstar. You on the ball. You on the ball today. Not only did you win the quiz yesterday, but you got that too. But yeah, appreciate that. She answered the question right there. So next question was, does the same text string need to be on each pair of interfaces for the authentication to succeed? You guessed it. They need to be the same. So we put in the keyword San Jose here. If we'd have put in San Francisco here, it wouldn't, and they don't match. The authentication keys must match. So that's one of those parameters that need to match if we have authentication set up for an OSPF become a neighbor. Y'all got that? Task 4, verify OSPF authentication. So we only got, what, 5 tasks? And then we'll move on to, I guess, authentication key 2. I don't think we're gonna do a quiz today. Yeah, because I didn't really set one up. So, man. All right. So verify the routing tables. After you have configured OSPF authentication, display the routing table on Key West. So we'll go to Key West, do a show IP OSPF. Show IP route, and we'll see the same 8 OSPF routes plus the 2 connected and 2 local networks, right? So here's the OSPF routes. Here's the other set of OSPF routes right there at the bottom, right? My bad, right there. And then the connected and local routes. So really the same. If we were to tore it down or have 2 different keywords there, then we won't be able to see those routes. Well, Miami will be able to see some of these routes, but Miami won't be able to see these routes back here because he's not a neighbor with Key West who was advertising those routes, right? Do you see any changes since implementing the authentication? No. From host E. So we go to host E. Ping the following IP addresses. So they want host E to ping that PC, ping that PC, that PC, and that PC. I'm just gonna ping one of them because we gonna be pinging all day, man. Ping, ping, ping. Let's just ping host D, and that's it. 200.120.45.150. We got to reply. So we're good to go. Are these pings successful? Yes. If not, reviewing your configuration. I'm not going to ping all of them. I think we should be good to go there, right? From host B, go to host B. Where is he at? Right there. Ping Key West's FA00 interface. So we're going to have host B ping host FA00, which is that side, the local area network side of Key West. So again, from host B to ping the local area network side, this side of Key West. Not that side, right? Not this side, but this side of Key West. They want us to see if we can ping the local area network. Is this ping successful? Ping 200.120.45. Did I do it on that side already? Did I do it over here? I did. Oh, that's what they asked us to do. Oh, I meant to do from there, from host E to host D on that side. So from host E, I did host E to host A. I'm gonna have host E ping host D real quick. Ping 200.120.45.150. And then we got to reply there. And from host B to ping the local area network side, which is 193. And I think we did that already. I guess we did that already. I don't remember doing that. Maybe that was earlier. Who knows? Based on the behavior you observed in the previous 2 steps, what conclusion can you draw regarding the operation of OSPF authentication between Key West and Miami? So basically, we set up authentication, and network connectivity has been regained, but now there's encryption on the OSPF neighborship there. So on Key West and Miami, display additional information about the operation of OSPF. So they want us to see what show command can we verify that OSPF, other than show run, because y'all know we try not to do show run, which give us all the answers, right? What interface or show command will tell us that OSPF authentication has been set up? Does anybody know one? That's your pop quiz for today. What show command is going to give us information about OSPF authentication? Foster said clear text. Yes, we set up clear text. So on the next one, I believe we're going to do encrypted authentication. That's task 5. So we're going to do the same thing basically, but we're going to encrypt the authentication. And there's no way to really tell other than using the show run or the show command that I'm asking you guys, which will let us know that authentication has been set up for OSPF. Clear text, not encrypted. Is that what I said? Oh, my bad. Okay, I see what you're saying. I said encrypted. It's not encrypted. So this is not encrypted. Good point, Diane Foster. This is OSPF authentication has been set up, but it's clear text. It's not encrypted. So she's right about that. Anybody know the show command? I know there's a lag there. So it is, if I remember correctly, if we do show IP protocols, that ain't going to tell us. That tells us what routing protocol has been set up, which is process ID 1, OSPF. It gives us our router ID for it. It gives us our routing information sources, the networks we're advertising. to see if authentication is set up, it is IP OSPF interface. So we do show IP OSPF interface, and then we put in this. We could put in a specific interface or just leave it as is. It's going to pull up all the interfaces that's participating in OSPF. Zaya says show run config. Yes, that will show us, but it kind of just gives us, we can see that it's set up that way, right? So we could do show running config, like she said, and we'll see that OSPF has been set up with authentication over here, right? And it's been set up on FA01. But the other command that I was looking for was actually show IP OSPF interface, and then that interface, which is in this case FA0/1, and you see at the bottom it tells you that it's been set up. So simple password authentication is enabled. So once you do that command, you go to the bottom, you will see that authentication has been set up for OSPF. So task 5 is the final task, and I guess we can move on to the next one, right? No, task 6 is the final task. Verify. What was my boss part of this? Implement OSPF encrypted authentication. You have now implemented OSPF basic authentication. Briefly explain the potential risks. Well, like Diane Foster said, it's clear text. So it's if we have those same hackers that hacked into the blockchain there, or siphoned $600 million in digital tokens, then they can most likely hack into this Boson NetSim OSPF authentication there. It's a potential security risk right there because it's clear text. 2, review the commands you issued to enable basic authentication. You now need to remove those commands from the configuration. So like Zaya said, we do a show run, and we'll see the commands that we set up to do that, which were right over here, right? OSPF authenticate, those two right there. They want us to now remove these commands, right? So let's go to global config mode, interface FA0/1, and then we say no that, and no IP OSPF authentication. Same thing on the other side, and that should, and notice the dead timer didn't die just yet, but it will. Yes, it did. It died. No, it didn't. Not yet. So no IP authentication. Oh, no IP OSPF authentication, and remove the key like that. No, right here. And then he said here, now you need to remove them. We did that. Reconfigure Key West to use MD5 or message digest authentication. So we want to reconfigure Key West to use message digest authentication, and then do the same thing with Miami. So basically, they want us to do the same thing, but now using MD5, right? So we'll go to Key West and do it. We'll start with Key West. We're on the interface already, and set it up as IP OSPF authentication. Actually, let's do this. Question mark, because I can't remember. It's message digest key. So this right here is in clear text when we set up OSPF. Y'all remember? It was a couple screens back. We did something similar to this. So that's clear text. This is MD5. This does encrypted authentication for OSPF. So IP OSPF message digest key, right? And then we got to put in a key ID. They didn't say which key ID. And this is the funny thing about this too. We'll see the answers in a second. But we'll pick key 1, and then says we question mark. We put in MD5 algorithm. Now I think some versions of iOS you can use SHA authentication. If I'm not mistaken, you can use SHA authentication, which is, I believe, is weaker than MD5 algorithm. So basically, it's just like a mathematical computation. It's just that MD5 is harder to crack, basically. So MD5 is what's supported on this specific iOS or version of software, and then the OSPF password, which in this case they didn't really say, but we're going to use San Jose, right? Bars. San Jose. Anybody see the Locks versus Dipset battle? They got crushed. Dipset, great battle. Anyway, so now we set up the password on Key West that theoretically should tear down the neighbor relationship that we have with Miami. P said, didn't Cisco's MD5 get decrypted anyway? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe it did. Who knows? Oh no, that's a good question. It might have. Let's look at that real quick. MD5 cracked. Well, you can, if you Google, you can see MD5 cracker with. So if you use Kali Linux, you can crack it, I guess. Yeah. So I guess it did. But this is what's offered so far. So, but SHA I believe is weaker, if I'm not mistaken or not. So good question though, Pete. What? So we did that. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Do we? Yeah, well, let's do the same thing on the other side. So Miami, and we say IP OSPF message digest key, and then key 1, and then MD5 San Jose, right? And then I don't think that enables it. It put in the key, but it didn't really enable it. We still got to put in the IP OSPF authentication. Y'all remember? I remember we did that on the screen before, right? Because now, if we go to Key West, if you don't have any neighbor relations or any like OSPF neighbors, then we need to put in that other command, right? IP OSPF authentication. So show IP OSPF neighbor. He does have a neighbor. It's coming up. So X start. We keep doing that, right? X start, X start, X start. We'll see how long it takes up to come up. Or it could be we still got to put in that. We still got to put in IP OSPF authentication because I think it's going to stay there. That's good to know, right? See, I was staying at X start. Miami's got some neighbors. Miami's should have like 3 neighbors, but if that worked over here, we should have 4 neighbors, right? So Miami's got 1, 2, 3 neighbors, but this should be our 4th. So we go to Miami, we do show IP OSPF neighbor. We only got 3, so this is not a neighbor just yet, right? It's on X start right now because we didn't enable authentication. We put in the key, but we didn't enable authentication. So let's go to Miami, go to global config mode, and it's FA what? Let's see. Go back to Key West. Let's see. Is he up yet? Nope. So let's go to global config mode, interface FA0/1, IP OSPF, right? And we got to put in, even though we put in this message digest key with a key ID of 1 and San Jose as the key, we also have to enable authentication. So IP OSPF authentication, press enter, do the same thing on Miami. Interface FA01, IP OSPF authentication. And how many neighbors does Miami have? She still has 3. He, she. Keep doing the OSPF neighbor. Y'all hit me with that like button, man, if y'all like what y'all see. If y'all want to knock out one more lab, we can try to do one more lab. He's still not seeing a neighbor yet. He should have 4 neighbors, right? Let's go back to Key West and see what happened. Let's see what happened. Show IP OSPF neighbor. It's still set to X start. Was it 0/1? It was 0/1. What's going on here? What's going on here? What did we do wrong here? I know we're doing something wrong here. Let's see. Show run interface FA0/1. What did we set up? We have authentication, message digest key 1. This is to Miami. And Miami, do we have the same thing over there? What's going on with Miami? Show. Let's see. He said it says MD5 is better than SHA in terms of speed, but SHA is more secure. Oh, that's interesting. Probably stuck in X start. It is for some reason. Why is it stuck in X start though? That's a good question. Should we clear the process? Authentication. We put the key. That's good. That's weird. That's weird. Let me bounce that. Let me bounce that ass. Interface FA01 on Key West. Interface FA0/1. Shut. No shut. So now I went from X start to down. Right here. Let's no shut it. Let's see. Does it bring it back up? Interface is up. Don't look like I got a neighbor just yet. Show IP OSPF neighbor. Exchange. Exchange. It looked like it's stuck in exchange now. And now it's full. See there? So we had to bounce that interface. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So now it's full. You see that? Now he's a neighbor. So now we go to Miami. He had 3 neighbors. Now we do show IP OSPF neighbor. Now he got 3 neighbors. Interesting. Then we have What was the other neighbor supposed to be? I guess he was a neighbor. He just wasn't. Because see, now it says full. Loading to full. I thought we'd had 4 neighbors. That's interesting. Show IP yourself neighbor. That's interesting. I thought 1 would have been neighbor, 2, 3, and then that would have been a 4th neighbor. What am I missing here? Oh, no, he's not a neighbor with that guy. My bad. So he's only neighbors with this guy, and that guy, right? The serial, and fast Ethernet, right? See that? Serial, fast Ethernet. So it's only 3 neighbors. My bad. Sorry about that. Briefly explain the MD5 hashing algorithm. I don't need to do that because Pete and Morningstar did it in the chat over there. Foster said clear process. I might have been able to do that too. I could have cleared the process, and I think that would have brought up the relationship. Wonder if that's a Boson thing. Who knows? That's a good question. But yeah, that was weird. Verify OSPF encrypted authentication. Verify the routing tables. After you have configured OSPF encrypted authentication, display the routing table on Key West. So we go to Key West, and most likely the routing table looks the same. Show IP OSPF neighbor, and my bad. Show IP route. Our routes. Y'all make sure you subscribe if this is your first time. Be gifting away a copy of this application so y'all can do it along with me and stuff like that. So our routing table looks the same basically. So it didn't really like manipulate the routing table in any way. It just we wouldn't have been able to see these routes from Key West's vantage point if we're not a neighbor with Miami. So do you see any changes since implementing OSPF encrypted authentication? Briefly explain. I didn't see any changes unless y'all did. I don't see any changes. And the funny thing is, or the good thing is, if we don't know the answer to that, we can scroll to the bottom. So 6A1, and we'll see what they want to explain to us. So task 6A, they said verify the route. There should be no changes to the OSPF routing table as a result of OSPF encrypted authentication. If routes are missing since you've configured OSPF authentication, you should investigate and correct any authentication problems. So no, the routing table looks the same. Task 6. What is they want us to do here? Ping the following IPs from host E. So they want us to have, right? Is that task 6? Yeah. So have host E ping any of these guys. I'll just ping one of them. I'll just pick host C, which is 45.180. Right. So we'll do ping 200.120.45.180. Right. So basically I had host E go through the router, go through this OSPF neighborship, and ping host who I said 180, which is host C, that guy right there. So I pinged him from there. It might have taken another route, who knows, but most likely it took that route like that. We could do a trace route to C, but who knows, who cares. From host B, ping, so from host B, from this guy, ping Key West's FA00 interface. Is this ping successful? So we're going to have host B ping FA00, which is over here, the local area network side, right? So same thing we did last time, right? Ping 193, which was that one right there. Ping, drop the ARP. Nope, it went through. So we got on our knees, praying that guys, and it pinged. Based on the behavior you observed in the previous 2 steps, what conclusion can you draw regarding the operation of OSPF encrypted authentication between Key West and Miami? I didn't see anything different other than now that we have an OSPF neighborship there. And now the neighborship has been, there's authentication and encryption set up. One way to verify that, though, which is probably what they're going to ask us right here. There it is. On Key West, display additional information about the operation of OSPF. So we go to Key West, the same command that I told y'all earlier. Pete said, if real hardware updated the authentication, I would guess it could figure it out on the fly. Probably. I don't know. I don't know. The behavior might have been different. It might have been the same. I don't know. I haven't used hardware in a while, I guess. We've been using EvenG and Boson. But I think I saw that it wasn't coming up. So basically, I just bounced the interface. Usually that fixes a lot of things, right? It's kind of like reboot. Did you reboot yet? So let's do a show IP OSPF interface. The interface that's participating in OSPF is FA01. And we'll see at the bottom, same thing. It says simple password authentication is enabled. Interesting. It's supposed to be MD5. Let's see. Key West. Let's do Miami real quick. Let's see. Show IP OSPF neighbor. No. Show IP. That's not what I was meaning to see. Show IP OSPF interface FA01. It says simple password. We did not set up simple password. I thought we set up MD5. So run interface FA0/1. What we have? MD5 right there. Interesting. I thought it would have said something else different. I think it would have said something different. Like MD5 or something like that. Or encrypted. Can't remember. You know what? Let's see this. Let's go back to FA01. And I think we're missing another password. That's what it is. We don't want to do authentication like that. I think that's the keyword we need to remove. So FA interface FA0/1. It's a good thing we verify, right? And it's supposed to be IP OSPF message digest key by itself, I think. Let's see. Message digest key? No. And then it's the key ID? No. Let's see. Authentication key. Yeah, I think that's what we got to do. Let's see. I can't remember. IP OSPF, and I think authentication key -key. No, that's clear text right there. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's see what I've got wrong, because I've got something wrong. We'll grade the lab right here. That's what I love about Boson NetSim, and we'll see what we got wrong here. We missed one or more commands. What did we miss? We missed the we got to put in the digest by itself, and I did that. Didn't it say that I'm missing a keyword there? So not just that. That's clear text. This does the MD5. So we need to remove that. That's why this is highlighted in blue. This is an extra command. I didn't need to do that. I needed to put that right there for MD5. So this right here in red, right? That's what I like about Boson. It'll correct us if I'm steering you guys wrong here. So this is what I did earlier. Didn't I do that just now? Like right over here, right there. See, IP OSPF message digest key. And then it said incomplete command. So what is missing there? Right? I said I tried to do this. OSPF message digest key. IP OSPF message digest key. Let's just key real quick. And then we'll close this lab and we'll call it a night. IP OSPF. Oh, IP OSPF and an authentication message digest. That's what it is. I see what I'm missing there. Y'all see that? Do you do much routing in your job? No, I mostly work with layer 2. So I'm in network closets most of the time, dealing with VLANs. I've been daily. What I've been doing is upgrading the iOSs at work. What else I've been doing? Just basic layer 1 stuff, man. Just like having to replace UPSs and stuff like that. So, you know, I haven't been there very long. So eventually, I'm going to be doing some routing. I had to set up like EIGRP for an MPLS router. You know, a couple weeks back. Thought you did it too. I didn't, apparently. So no, I don't do too much routing. Not very much routing. Just simple setting up a default gateways for local area networks, which is that's about it. I don't do too much routing on my own. We have a network architect that's been dealing with most of that, but he's kind of training me and stuff like that. Once I get more advanced, then eventually I'll be doing a little bit more routing and stuff. So, but yeah, good question. I might do like some one of those. I don't know, there's all the YouTubers that do like, you know, work with me or type of thing, or like a video, kind of like take your kid to work day kind of thing. Not that y'all children or anything, but you know, like kind of like a see what I do I work on a day-to-day basis or whatever. So, but me, I like kind of like sharing my sharing knowledge and just labbing with you guys and stuff like that. Y'all make it fun, and I think this is more useful to you guys than hey, so I applied at a job today, and I don't know, just stuff that I don't feel like it's useful to y'all. It just gives you insight into somebody's life, and that's about it. I think this is a bit more useful to y'all. So I don't know, but not to knock any other YouTubers. I just think this is more useful. Or yeah. So anyway, IP OSPF authentication. We needed to do actually we said message digest. Is that what it was? No. Yeah. Authentication and then message digest. So authentication and then message digest like that. And then remove the other one, which was that. So that was on Miami. We got to go to Key West and do the same thing. Global config mode, interface FA0/1, and say IP OSPF authentication message digest like that, and then remove the other one, which was no IP OSPF authentication. And same thing on this guy, no IP OSPF authentication. I gotta remember that. I don't remember doing this at a stream with you guys. I can't remember when. It had to been sometime last week. We graded lab, and hopefully that should be everything. Yep, we're still missing something. What the fuck? I want to go home, man. Oh yeah, I am home. Did I not do that on Key West? Key West, where you Key West, man? Message digest. I did it right there. I thought I did it right there. Did I do the message digest key? Maybe that removed it. That removed it because, let's see. Show run interface FA01. I guess I didn't. Okay. Global config mode interface FA0/1. IP OSPF authentication message digest key, or just key message digest, and that's it. And now Control G, and then we're done. We're missing something, man. Oh God. What am I missing? Does that not the same thing right there? IP OSPF to Key West. Oh, we got to do it on Miami. Subscribe to your boy, man. I'm out of here, man. IP OSPF authentication message digest. Completely lapsed acceptable. Not only do you have the hard skill, but you also possess the soft skill. Appreciate that. Thought you did it too fast. I like those because it helps me apply the knowledge or see it in the real world. But fair enough. Yeah, I guess I could do something like that. Like if I do like a, work from home with me kind of thing, and just explain to you guys what I'm doing or whatever at work or whatever. But obviously I can't show you guys on my screen like how I'm configuring stuff like that, because then that'd be, giving away, the configuration on the information on how to work and stuff like that. If you teach it, you know it. Yep, exactly. What else? Yeah, but yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that. Yeah, maybe I'll probably do something like that. It's just that there'd be so much work, and to actually work and then try to, I don't know. It's just a little difficult. Well, I ain't gonna say it's difficult. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably do that. But I'll probably have to edit it or whatever. I'll probably have to edit it, not do a live stream while I'm at work and shit. And then, my boss is like, what the fuck you doing live stream while you're at work for, man? So maybe I'll do something like that and then just kind of like edit it or whatever with the phone or like the camera on the side or something like that. I'll probably do something like that. Who knows? But anyways, I typically stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I obviously need to do a little bit more reviewing on the OSPF authentication and stuff like that to kind of get these commands more down pat or whatever. What else was I going to say? Make sure you join the Discord server. This is a copy of the Discord server link. Let me share it with y'all real quick for anybody that's new or whatever. And that's pretty much it, man. Just subscribe, like, comment, and that's pretty much it.